How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and in today's video, we will be taking a look at all of the Spirit Halloween 2025 leaks. Considering Spirit Halloween has gone completely AWOL and basically abandoned their whole sneak peek season, we're just going to talk about the leaks at this point because I am tired of waiting to see all this stuff, and I'm sure you guys are too. We now have access to so many leaked images, we'll be able to gauge whether Spirit Halloween 2025 is a win or a bust. But before we get into it, be sure to like and subscribe, and also consider becoming a channel member to receive exclusive benefits. I also have new merch available now, so be sure to use the link in the description to purchase shirts and more. And with all that, everybody, let's get started taking a look at everything from the theme to pretty much every single animatronic. Starting off with this photo, we clearly see everything in the front of the display this year, including the archway and what will be the main theme, which is the train, of course, the subway train. But before we talk about the theme or anything, let's talk about all the animatronics, and I will start off with Bullseye right here. First of many clown animatronics this year, which I will say my piece on that later, but let's just start with this guy. And, well, this is about as goofy as a clown can get. This is the epitome of a silly, goofy clown, and I like the unique concept going on here. There definitely is some things to like about this one, but it is absolutely not for me at all. This is not my kind of prop right here, and definitely not my kind of clown prop. It's definitely not the worst clown we have this year by a long shot. I am excited to see what its animation is, though. I don't expect it to do much besides probably some mouth animation and maybe some head tilting, but I do like the huge bullseye he has around his neck, basically, with his head being in the center, and maybe there's a few knives sticking out of it there. That's kind of what it looks like. I think the color scheme is pretty decent too, and the eye patch is for sure a nice touch. Overall, can't say I'm too excited about this guy, but he does seem like more of a unique clown, but still way too silly and goofy for my tastes. The other animatronic that will be right up front this year is the Crypt Countest, and this one looks pretty cool actually, though it does seem like a very generic SVI sort of banshee monster. I feel like it's something you can't really go too wrong with. I think the design is pretty good. I like how creepy she looks. The only part I don't like is the eyes, really. The yellow lights don't work too well, and the pupils kind of make her look a little derpy, but other than that, I have to say this is a pretty decent and creepy looking animatronic for sure. I'm definitely excited to see what it does, but I really don't think it'll be much more than the typical sort of SVI towering prop movement. Maybe the arms will raise up and down. Definitely expect some mouth motion and maybe a turning from side to side. But other than that, I doubt it'll do that much else, but it still seems like a cool and pretty scary one for sure. Moving past the archway and into the main theme, our first animatronic we'll look at is Jack the Reaper. That's right, Spirit Halloween has given their mascot its own animatronic finally, and I'm very excited to see how this one plays out, but from the looks of it, it actually looks really cool. From the photos, he appears to be a sort of blend between Howling Spirit and Nibbles the Clown, since this will feature the motion tracking technology, which I'm very excited to see how that plays out on this animatronic. Whether his entire body will sort of swivel around to follow somebody or just his head, I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing either one of them on this guy. And whether he'll have a voice or anything, if they're going to give Jack the Reaper his own voice, I am not sure. I don't know whether it'd be a good idea or not. It really depends on the execution, but I'm here for it either way. The look of this one is really great. I just love how it's sort of suspended and floating in air, and the scythe is a nice touch as well. You know, we never really seen Jack the Reaper with a scythe before, but I think it looks pretty good on him. Overall, I have to say this seems to be a really, really cool animatronic, and I do think it's cool that Jack is getting his own animatronic for sure. Whether people are going to like this one or not, since it is kind of like free advertising for Spirit Halloween, if people put this guy on their front lawns, I don't know. But overall, once again, I think this is going to be a great one. Our next animatronic is a really awesome one, which is definitely saying something considering it's a clown. This is Headcase Harry. I absolutely love this guy. Just from these pictures already, I'm really excited to see this guy and what he does. I think he is super cool looking, a very classic sort of idea for a Halloween animatronic, being this sort of conjoined headed clown. Really scary looking, by the way. I love how this one looks. The faces on this guy are super detailed. Even from these crappy photos we have, I could tell this is going to be a very well put together animatronic with lots of nice detailing. I also absolutely love the fact there's blood on him. That is really, really nice. I can't tell you how many times there are so many props that need blood on them that don't have them, so it's really nice to see that this guy is pretty much covered in it. I also love that he's holding a knife. That is another cool detail as well. It definitely makes him a little bit more threatening than if he was just standing in front of you holding nothing. So that is a nice addition as well. My only problem with this guy, well, I guess we haven't heard the audio or anything or seen the animation, so I might have more problems with it in the future, but my only problem right now is the fact that it's a clown. I think this would have been so much cooler if it was like a dude, a conjoined, like messed up looking dude in like a straitjacket or something. Making this guy a clown instead of something like I mentioned before just seems like a really missed opportunity in my opinion, considering how many clowns we have already this year, which again we'll get into later. I just really wish this guy was anything but a clown, but that should not take away how much I like this guy. I think this one is awesome, a great concept, and so far from how it looks, a great execution. Next up, we have probably what will end up being my favorite animatronic from Spirit Halloween this year. This is Backbend Bonnie, and oh my god, look at that face. Now, this is the Spirit Halloween I love. This is the classic Halloween scariness that I love to see from Spirit Halloween, and it's something that's been absent from their lineups for pretty much years now. An animatronic like this seems like it was plucked straight out of 2012 to 2014 and dropped in the modern day and age. And I could not be happier about that. The looks on this thing are just impeccable. Truly perfect. But that's only one thing. The animation is going to be just as good because this is basically a reskin of Broken Spine Girl. And honestly, I have to say, I think this might look better than Broken Spine Girl. The entire back will bend completely to give an awesome jump scare. I'm pretty sure if you look in this photo here, she is facing backwards. She probably will do a back bend jump scare per her name. I'm really excited to see how that looks. And oh my god, this is just such a great prop. It just screams classic Spirit Halloween to me, and you could definitely tell this is a Techie Toys prop. They just absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. I really don't want to say much more about her other than that she is absolutely awesome looking and her animation is going to be awesome. I just know it. I just cannot wait to see a full video of this one or just see her in person, really. I'm so excited about this one right here. Next up, we have the Lantern Keeper, and as far as Pumpkinhead animatronics go, this one seems pretty decent. From the photos, you can't really get a great look at it, unfortunately. The face seems pretty detailed, and the photos are just too blurry to make it out very well. But I wouldn't doubt myself in saying that I'm pretty sure this might be a Pan-Asian Creations prop. It just kind of has that vibe for me. There's nothing wrong with that. I think they are a great company, but it does seem like this prop will be on the cheaper end, at least in terms of how it's made. I hope that the price is on the cheaper end here, but anyways, I think this one looks pretty good. Obviously, it looks like the jack-o'-lantern face will light up, which is always great, and I'm not sure what he's going to do for animation, but hopefully it's something cool, not just something super basic. But I definitely like this one. I think the lantern is a nice touch, of course, as it says in his name. And like I said already, as far as jack-o'-lantern monster props go, this one's pretty good. I do like his scarecrow clothing, and really there isn't that much to say, but I'm excited to see what this one does and what its face looks like up close. Next up, we have Santa, Art the Clown. This seems to be a pretty cut and dry remake of the original, obviously wearing his Santa suit from the third movie. I'm guessing he's going to be doing the wave again, and I like how he holds an axe this time instead of the horn. Overall, I can't say much because I haven't seen Terrifier 3, but I know for fans of that movie, this will be a must-have piece. Here we have what will probably be the fan favorite of the year, and absolutely one of my favorites we've seen so far. This is the Fire Demon, an absolutely badass animatronic for sure, and we haven't even seen what it does yet, but we get a pretty good idea. Looking at this photo here, he starts in this sort of cloaked position, very similar to the Black Heart animatronic, and then he sort of opens up his arms, I'm guessing he'll open up his arms, and reveal this absolutely badass fire demon design underneath. I absolutely love how this guy looks, and I love his whole concept going on here too. If this guy has some really kick-ass phrases and a very scary voice, this will be an absolutely awesome animatronic, but just by looking at it, I could tell this one is just going to be absolutely awesome and really blow a lot of people away in person. He's sort of the demon version of the Black Heart, which obviously the Black Heart was a Grim Reaper. I definitely think I'll still like the Black Heart better, but this is definitely a very, very cool and awesome demon animatronic. Absolutely awesome looking so far. Here we have what unfortunately ended up being another clown. This is monkey business. Now I say unfortunately, but I think the clown here looks very good. The design is honestly really great, and the face appears to be really detailed and honestly pretty creepy looking. And of course, he is holding a monkey in a box that I assume has a jump scare animation. Honestly, not a bad idea. I'm just a little confused why a clown was chosen. I guess it makes sense for the most part. Maybe he's a part of a circus that uses animals, of course. But I don't know. It just seems like a strange combination to me for the most part. But I don't know. I'm kind of here for it, to be honest. If the jump scare is good, I think this could be a really cool animatronic. But I think people are going to like this one regardless. I can't say it's bad at all. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this one quite a bit. Our next animatronic is the millionth Mr. Dark reskin, I think. Obviously, I'm over-exaggerating, but it sure feels like this guy is about the millionth Mr. Dark reskin. This is Sinister Straw Man, and I can't say I'm upset with this reskin whatsoever, because I think this thing looks really badass looking. Now, he'll definitely not overtake my favorite, which is, of course, the original Mr. Dark, but in terms of all the other Mr. Dark reskins we've gotten, I think this will probably be the best out of the reskin category. I think it looks really cool. The face on this one, even though it is blurry, it looks like a classic Techie Toys awesome looking scarecrow. They do the best scarecrows in my opinion. And as for what it does, of course we know it is a Mr. Dark jump up, which you can't go wrong with that. I absolutely love the jump scare on these type of props. Once again, I think this will probably be the best Mr. Dark reskin we've gotten, and I think it looks really damn cool. Here's quite a mysterious one. This is Trixie, and I think I can kind of make out what it does, but let me just get started by saying I think this is a fantastic looking animatronic, and this is exactly what Betty Sharp should have been. I think this looks phenomenal, in all honesty. I think the mask on top of her head will probably start by covering her face, and then it'll probably pop forward in a jump scare motion, revealing the ugly underneath. I think this thing looks really cool, as I've already mentioned, and if that's what it does, I will be very pleased with this animatronic. Even though we don't know much about what it's going to do, I could say just by looking at it that this might be in my top 3 this year, and I think a lot of people will consider this a modern classic. Here we have Spirit Halloween's most expensive in-store prop ever. This is Young Hee, of course, from Squid Games, the red light, green light doll. And for a price of $700 and a height of, I think, 8 or 9 feet tall, I don't think this one is worth it at all. It's crazy that they're charging this much, but it appears to be all plastic and a very close replica to what it looks like in the show, minus, of course, its actual gigantic stature, but I think it's close enough. I think it's crazy they're charging $700 once again for this, but the reason is probably because it is all plastic. There's no fabric involved here. It's multiple huge plastic blow molds, so I guess it kind of makes sense. I don't know what kind of people are going to pay that much to purchase this thing, but I'm sure there are people out there. I don't know. I think this thing is pretty crazy. I think it is pretty cool that you could literally own the red light, green light doll in real life. I think it'd be cool if you could actually play red light, green light with it, but I don't think Spirit Halloween invested in that feature. Anyways, I think this is a pretty cool and unique licensed prop for sure. I definitely wasn't expecting this, but the fact we have it is pretty awesome. If Backbend Bonnie doesn't end up being my favorite for this year, then this one surely will. This is Twisted Grandma. With a head that spins 180 degrees as well as a torso, I think this is going to be one of the most crazy and scary modern Spirit Halloween props of all time. I mean, if you look at the face on this thing, this is one mean and creepy looking grandma for sure. The face on this thing literally just gives me the chills. Like, genuinely, this seems like a really scary animatronic. I hope the audio and everything else lives up to my hype for this one. I'm sure it will, considering it is a techie prop. They always knock it out of the park with the audio and voice acting they have on their animatronics. I think this has a chance to go down as one of Spirit Halloween's best and scariest animatronics. I mean, this is one freaky looking animatronic for sure. Once again, I am beyond hyped for this one. Of course, this thing was kind of leaked like 2 years ago at this point, with some cartoon sketches of the prop from Techie Toys being leaked, and it is so cool to see that this prop is finally being given life, and it looks a million times better than those sketches ever did. So I'm really happy we finally have this one in reality, and I cannot wait to see it in person. And here we have Trick or Treat Pete, perhaps the most kid-friendly and silly clown Spirit Halloween has ever given us. Now, I can't say this thing is all bad because we really don't know what it does, but it does appear to be a candy holder / dispenser, as in this photo you could see the candy falling out of his mouth, so maybe as he talks, candy will fly out of his mouth into the bowl, which might be pretty cool. There's also Bluetooth functionality with this one, so really it's up in the air what this thing can do. I'm very intrigued though, but the design is definitely not it for me. Alright everybody, that is all the animatronic photos we have so far. There are still a few animatronics in there that are missing, unfortunately, but I think we got enough of them to sort of gauge whether this year will be good or not. I have to say there are some absolute diamonds, but there's also a whole lot of rough as well. But I think overall this is looking like a pretty dark and scary year for Spirit Halloween, which I can't believe I'm saying that in 2025. This kind of feels like a return to classics. Definitely very in line with 2023 in terms of, the general scariness of the animatronics, but I think overall there are a few more in there that kind of reach that level more so than in 2023, so I do like to see that for sure. But in the end, we're still going to have to wait to see everything, and I have to say I'm definitely a lot less concerned than I was in the beginning of the year when we got that first 5 animatronics. Definitely a lot less concerned now, which is definitely good. Anyways, everybody, be sure to let me know what you think of all these animatronics in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my new merch and consider becoming a channel member for $3 or $5 a month. And with that, everybody, remember this one important thing: nobody outpixelates the pumpkin.